At this time of year, adults are focused on making resolutions. Well, what if we kind of took that idea and use it to help our kids and our grandkids as well?
So do you have a video game addict or maybe a child who gives up on things too easily? Our next guest has a book to tackle just about every topic.
Sure does. Welcome back, Julia Cook. Good to see you, Julia.
Even boogers.
Yeah, she goes, hey, do you have a booger book? I said, not yet. She goes, she threw this at me. Here, have a booger book. This says, I'm a booger, treat me with respect.
Kids pick their nose while I read it, though.
They do.
Oh, yeah, I have one.
By
Gross.
the time you finish reading the book, though, they get the concept.
They kind of do. And if the teacher will draw a booger ghost on the Kleenex box, then they'll use that.
It's a booger ghost.
But this is an
Kleenex
example.
a booger ghost. I love it.
These books give parents, teachers, a great way to tackle issues in a unique way, in a fun kind of way.
Well, in order to teach a child, you need to enter his or her view of the world. And if you read to them, they let you in. So the books are first person and they're fun. And each child we deal with, especially these days, has what's in it for me tattooed to their forehead. Yeah. So if you can convince them, you know, what's in it for them, it's an easy recipe.
Can we probably should refer to the fact that you have a special guest with you.
Christmas hangover, so she didn't change it.
And this is Kirby, right?
Yeah.
And you use Kirby to teach kids lessons as well.
Kidnap prevention, yep.
Yep. Some of the topics we just briefly broached, but one of the reasons why you're here today is this book. And this book isn't even out yet. This is called Uniquely Wired.
Right.
When is it coming out? And tell us what this book's about.
The release date is February 1st, and it is probably one of the first books out there written through the eyes of a child with autism to explain to the rest of the world how they are uniquely wired, and that everything they do has a purpose, and if you understand that purpose, it's much easier to tolerate that child. Not just tolerate, accept, appreciate, learn about. You know, oftentimes our kids scoff at things that they're afraid of or that they don't understand, and once you kind of level the playing field and explain to them what's going on, it's a beautiful thing. They get it.
The book's not even out yet, but it's getting a really strong response. I know there's a lot of people out there that are encouraged by what's in this book and how you can dive into the mind of a child with autism. How did you do that? How did you go about writing this book?
We wrote the book Amazing Me, which is the CDC's Learn the Signs. We'll talk about that in a minute. I talked to a lot of experts that have children. The best experts are the parents of children with autism. They know. And then I have a very good friend, Dr. Melissa Reinhart, who is a pediatrician who has 3 boys, one of which is on the spectrum. And it's just, they fascinate me. Children, I see them all the time in the schools, and when those kids will not listen, but then I start to read and they engage, and the books are social skill recipes, so they work with kids that are uniquely wired because it gives them a recipe of what to do and how to do it in a safe, fun way. And I never planned on writing books for children on the spectrum, but it seems like a lot of the kids I think we're all on the spectrum. I do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you mentioned how parents are connecting, because this is personal for me too. And when I knew that this book was coming out, I had to get a copy because my oldest son is on the spectrum. And the neat thing about this book is that it's uniquely wired, and it's a story about autism and its gifts.
Right.
And I think that people think maybe people that have brains that are different, they see different, but they don't recognize that it's a beautiful thing the way that their brains work. In the book, Zach is obsessed with clocks. Well, somebody has to know how clocks work, otherwise we wouldn't have clocks. My son is obsessed with power lines right now. And if there weren't people out there who were obsessed with electricity, that are with power lines, we wouldn't have electricity. So we need those brains and we need those minds, and this book celebrates that. And as a parent, I mean, I wish that I could give this book to so many of my friends. They're just gonna have to wait until February, because it's just, it's
Everybody has
wonderfully
a
written.
genius, and we capitalize on those geniuses to, you know, help us understand the world.
Well, there's a section in this book, what's the character's name again?
Zach.
Zach, and Zach says it's really hard for my brain to come up with my own words to say, so sometimes I borrow words from other people, you included. I love to hear myself talk, but once in a while words get stuck in my brain, and then I say them over and over and over again. It's fun for me to predict what's coming out of my mouth. It's like a word copy machine.
Yeah, Grandpa has stinky breath. Grandpa has stinky breath.
It keeps saying it over
And
and over.
then he says, well, thank you, Zach, for teaching us to be more mindful of what we say and making us laugh. You know, so everything is a gift if you look at it in that perspective.
Well, I think this book is going to resonate with a lot of families. And we do, while we have you here, we need to touch on how much all of your titles has exploded. Once this book comes out, I know we're going to hear a lot more from you nationally. But look at this.
You have to pull this down because it looks like her eyes are kind of strange.
Okay, yeah, but look, this is not English, lady. Yeah. How many countries and how many languages have your books been translated into at
there's
this point?
9 languages, I believe, now, and they're on every continent, according to a pretty valid source. So
amazing. How did this all get started for you?
I was a school counselor in Fremont, Nebraska, trying to figure out how to teach my kids tattling, and I couldn't find the book to read to them. I had a really good teacher, Anita Theopolis, at Wayne State College, who taught me if you want to get into a kid's head, you read to them. And I couldn't find a book, so I wrote just the story for that building. And asked, you know, and one of the teachers came to my office, first grade teacher, said, you got to do something with this, it's working. So I made a phone call, and the publishing company said, send it in. Now there's 86 books and about 2 million
86.
plus sold. And
oh, you're kidding.
It's kind of a brand now, spilling over into the parent world. And like, I'm thrilled and like humble and appreciative and honored, and I don't know, there's just so many emotions, you know, and they all give back to kids. That is the beauty. Each publisher, both of them are nonprofits, so, you know, when Boys Town sells a book, when National Center sells a book, the profits go back to help kids.
Yeah, and you've helped a lot of families, helped a lot of kids. We have a special offer, free shipping this morning. So basically what you do is you go to your website,
JuliaCookOnline.com, and just type in The Morning Blend.
That's the key word.
And if you're curious about Uniquely Wired, look for this one come February. The copy that I have right here is a galley copy, so I've just had the opportunity to preview it, but for other parents out there, for anybody who knows, I highly recommend it when it comes out.
On Julia Cook Online, you can pre-order it now.
A great opportunity to do that as well.
Thank
Julie, good to see you.
Thank you for
It's
writing
so great
this.
to be here. Thanks a lot. Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too. Happy New Year.
We put Kirby to sleep.
Yeah, she's pretty bored.
She's awake now.
Thanks, Julia.
Good to see you. Guess in the Morning Blend.